Yo, what's going on? This is Mike, and I am the Sports Dope. You can find me on Twitter at that Sports Dope or on Instagram at the same name. You can also go to mindsofmike.com/the Sports Dope, and there you'll find a bunch of social media icons and wherever else I'm on social media, you can find that shit there. So the YouTube or iTunes or Reddit or whatever it is, it's all on there. The Twitter and the Instagram, they have some fucking really dope logos, and they are courtesy of my friend Andrea Fowler. And you can find her work at AndreaFowlerDesign.com. That's Fowler with Fowler. And her shit is awesome. It's on Twitter also at Andrea Fowler Design, same spelling and all that bullshit. So here I am. I'm on YouTube right now, and I'm fucking live as shit. And it's Thursday night, as any of my previous listeners may know. I got a dog recently, a brand new one. So this week has been hectic. It's been just stepping in landmines, or hoping not to step into landmines. It's a giant dog, and he is taking man-sized shits already. He's already 150% the size of my existing 20-pound corgi. And this is a Bernedoodle. Yep, I got a Bernedoodle, Bernese Mountain Dog Poodle mix. And yeah, this thing's going to be a monster. It's going to be fucking awesome. But enough of that. Enough of that. Let's go through, and what we're going to do, we're going to recap profitable week, previous week 14, did pretty well. We're going to recap that, and we're going to dive into week 15. Now, week 15 is already just about upon us. It is 7:45 on Thursday night. The Jets Ravens warming up down there in Maryland. If you followed this link or you saw the tweets, I'm on the Jets tonight. It is before the game started. Jets plus 17. I'm all over that shit. I understand that they're hurt. It's more about it being a tough spot for the Ravens and the Jets being fairly decent against the run. Of course, with Quinn Williams and Jamal Adams out, that's that's going to be tough for them to hold that to that. But I still like them at plus 17. I just think it's a lot of points. Ravens clinch their shit up this week. I think they definitely win, but 17 is just too many. So anyway, diving into last week, first game of the week was Dallas at Chicago. We didn't bet on that one, and Dallas got smoked. And that's fucking pretty annoying because I got some futures on Dallas, and God, they're playing like just absolute trash. Just and it's frustrating because the just at this point, just somebody win it. Like at this point, it was annoying to me because I almost feel like if Eli would have played, they could have possibly been in the mix because of how bad they are. Like Daniel Jones just turned, like everybody's upset about Eli's turnovers, but Daniel Jones is absolutely worse at that. But enough about that shit. We didn't bet on Dallas, Chicago, and that was a good thing because I thought Dallas was going to take that one, and they did not. We also didn't bet on Green Bay and Washington. Green Bay just got done smoking the Giants. They were due for a little bit of a low spot. This is exactly what I'm thinking is going to happen in the Jets game, pretty much. Um, just a little bit of a low spot. They know they can win the game. They get out ahead and they just fucking chill. And the 17 is going to win that, just like 14 and a half or 13 would have won that for the Washington bettors on Sunday. Next up with the no bets, we had Detroit. That would have been a good one. Minnesota, same thing. They just fucking got a little bit of a lead, coasted, let Detroit score a garbage time touchdown, and then all of a sudden everybody who bet the plus 13 and a half or whatever it was when it opened won. But if you got it at 13, you pushed, and hey, fuck, I'll take a push, right? I'm here for the fun. And like whenever I go to Atlantic City, like I'm just like, I don't want to win money. I just want to break even and get free drinks and hang out with my friends and smoke cigarettes, because the only time I smoke cigarettes is when I'm at a casino. And it's just enjoyable doing that then. Just something, I don't know. It's enjoyable. Next game we didn't bet on was Tampa Bay. That one would have pushed to whatever, depending on when you got it. I think it hit 3.5 at one point, but it was pretty consistently 3. And Tampa Bay pulled that one out. Jameis, fucking just, I love him. I absolutely love him. He's just fantastic to watch. Denver, man, we like Denver, and they beat the shit out of Houston. I mean, Houston, I should have realized it. I should have looked at the schedule a little bit better. Like, I like Denver a lot, but I just couldn't pull the trigger. I didn't feel it, but should have absolutely done it. The reason I liked it was because Houston just got done beating up on the Patriots, right? Next week, or this week rather now, they're playing the Titans. That's what the division is going to come down to, is these games that the Texans are playing the Titans in. So this is a middle game. This is a sandwich game that they blow, and they absolutely did. It was fucking gross for Houston, that is. But good for Drew Lock, man, slinging the ball. Good for him. Next game we didn't bet on. Chargers going to Jacksonville. We said Jacksonville. That's a terrible idea at this point. I think everybody's talking about how much they're just awful and quick. And this would have been, but no, we didn't believe it. And good thing we didn't bet on it because it was wrong. Monday night, we had the Giants at Philly, and the Giants were what we thought, but we didn't lay hard-earned money on the Giants, and it's a good thing. It's not a good thing. We should have done that. So I'm going to pick 'em league at work. There's about 45 people or so in it, and there were 3 people tied going into Monday night. All 3 people had Philly, and one guy had 38 points, and me and another guy had 42. And so all 3 of us won it. All 3 of us came in first place. Got to split a cool $40. Cool $40 between 3 people. So I just got the little ching Venmo. Got my 1333. Very exciting. So now let's dive into the stuff that we actually bet on. So we did okay this week. Turned a profit. I like it. Our lock, we had one lock last week, and that one hit. 1-0 on the lock last week. And then the leans, 2-2. So the lock put us over the top there. We said Tennessee was the sucker bet. That did not pan out. Tennessee was not a sucker bet. You were a sucker if you didn't bet on Tennessee like me. They went to Oakland. I think it was 21-21 at the half, and then the game was 42-21 at the end. Like, it was just absolutely ridiculous. This Tennessee team looks very good. Peaking at the right time. They got a great game this week, and we will talk about it in a little bit. We also thought the dog of the week might be Cincinnati. I thought it would have been wild. Battle of Ohio. Andy Dalton back in the driver's seat over there. They're a better team with him. That's absolutely not even debatable. And the game was close. If you bet on them with the 8.5, I think it got down to 7.5 at one point. If you got the 7.5, oops. Hopefully the 7.5 it took Cleveland. But yeah, so they were 8 points out. The 8.5 would have won. I got to look at that because I meant to do this the other day, but I didn't get around to it. Like I said, I've been picking up dog shit and cleaning piss everywhere. But Tennessee, right? Forget it. I don't even know where I was going with that. Fuck it. I lost my train of thought. Probably shouldn't smoke switch weed before this stuff. But anyway, we'll go into the teaser. Oh, no, what I was going to say was I want to look at the dogs, right? I want to go through the season, look at the dogs, because my record is, sub 500 because they're fucking dogs. But I want to see, if it's profitable with all the juice, because some of them were pretty big, right? So I think it was, let's see, 5-9 with the dogs. So with some of the juice, possibly over profitable. But I also want to see, too, like what my record would have been if you would have taken the dogs with the points. So, because this one would have won if you took the points. Just saying, not even for, a little bit for me and also for anybody, all 4 of you who are listening right now. If hey, I'm doing that at 75%, my dogs always cover, then it's pretty solid. And I'll start fucking betting on it. All right. So let's see. So we talked about the sucker bet. We talked about the dog. And so our lock was Atlanta. They fucking smoked them just like I thought they would. Ron Rivera, he was loved. Everybody was tweeting super nice things about him on the team. Nobody wanted to see him go. And so, like I said last week, there's 2 types of ways coaches get fired. Either everybody loves the guy and they feel bad and it drowns them in sorrow and they're like, fuck. Or it's a coach that everybody hates and they're like, yo, we're going to go out there and we're going to smoke these motherfuckers because we want to prove that asshole was the problem. So that's something. So it was the opposite. It was the former. It was the first one this time. So there you go. And Atlanta won by 20, I think. Yes, that is correct. So next up, we had New Orleans, San Francisco. Over is one of the leans. Wow, that was over in about the second quarter. And that game was absolutely fantastic. We lost on taking New Orleans, but it's all right. It was a great game to watch, man. What an absolute, just fantastic football game. I'm looking forward to betting against both of those teams in the playoffs. I just don't believe in either of them. I don't know. We had the Jets in Miami over. We lost that by a point. It was 44. The fucking Dolphins scored 21 points. And from the outside looking in, you would think to yourself, it's 3 touchdowns. But nope, it's 7 field goals. So that was kind of ridiculous. You would have thought that if they would have got one of those in the end zone, and if they do that, then they win the game and we win the over bet. But they didn't, those fucking jerk-offs. Big news from there, Devontae Parker, who was basically turning into a superstar before everybody's eyes. He was he got hurt in that game, so he's in concussion protocol. So that's tough for this week. We'll talk about that more this week a little bit. Next up, our other bet was Kansas City. Kansas City +3. They were in New England, and they beat up the Patriots. It was awesome because the Patriots are a bunch of assholes, and they're a bunch of cheating assholes. And this is exactly what happens, right? The Patriots, they have 2 losses in a row. They don't want to get to 3. So what they do, they sent the film crew to Cincinnati, and they were like, we got to get back to our winning ways. And how do you win? You cheat. You go out there and you videotape some shit, and you get caught. And it's hilarious for everybody else. And everybody's like, oh, everybody's picking on the Patriots. No. You guys do it to yourself. Like, what a bunch of absolute fucking morons. So there we were. Atlanta, lock of the week, 1-0. We hit that one. 2-2 on the rest of the picks. And then we get to the teaser. And the teaser is a winner. It's another winner. Buffalo 11.5, Arizona 8.5. That one was close. I was sweating that one out. Woof. And then we had the Rams +6, and that one was not a sweat at all. So solid week. Solid week. So just going through real quick, we're gonna go through the tallies for the season. I'm coming back up on the locks. I've been, let's see, 5 out of the last 8. 5 out of 8, not bad. Bringing our season total up to 10-16. Lean's still doing a lot better there, 25-17. And so that brings us up 35-33 for the year. Probably not profitable, but we're working on it. We're getting there. And the end, we're gonna turn it on right here. Turn it on this week. I'm feeling 4-1 this week. I don't even know if 5 picks is what I have. I fucking forgot. And the spreadsheet's the next one up. Teasers for the season, 6-11. And I think a lot of those losses are those stupid Thursday teasers. I fucking just wouldn't give up in the middle of the season. Sucker bets still doing well. 6 out of 3 were the right calls, with 2 of them being pushes. And the dogs, like I said earlier, 5-9 on the year. We're gonna take some dives into those numbers there. Find out what the actual unit return and all that fucking shit is. And we'll also see if you would have bet those dogs with the spreads, how you would have done there. So before we dive into week 15, I'm just going to talk about my schedule real quick. Just going to dive into that. So I'm obviously doing picks this week. I'm going to do DFS right after this. Next week, I'm going to do week 16. Week 17, I'm probably going to take off because week 17 is usually pretty shitty. And it's going to be an absolute madhouse. I'm going to have 30 people in my house for Christmas. It's going to be fucking wild. So, yeah, that's going to be a tough one. And then we'll chat again in the playoffs. And then I think what I'm going to do after the football season is I'm going to take February and I'm going to work on the website. And I'm going to come in strong with some baseball previews and second half basketball stuff at the end of February. So I think that's what I'm going to rock with. All right, so week 15. Let's do it, right? Thursday night, we're here, and it's Ravens and the Jets. And I already talked about that. I tweeted about it, and if you're listening to this, unless you're watching it live right now, and there's one person out there doing that, that's okay. I don't care. Then you're going to hear this tomorrow, so none of it really applies. So all I'm going to do right now is say that I like the Jets and the points. I think I even said that in the opening. I definitely tweeted that shit out and threw it on Instagram. So I like them as one of my leans. So we're going to dive into the games that I'm not betting on, though. First and foremost, I just wanted to get that lean out of the way because it's a Thursday night game. It starts the week, right? You got to talk about that one first. First game we're not betting on. Tampa Bay is going to Detroit. I have no idea what to expect up there. There's really not much that I expect from Detroit's offense, but the defense could win the game because Jameis might turn the ball over 6 times. Mike Evans is out. I'm staying away. Jameis hurt his hand, and his hand has a hard time holding onto the ball as it is. So I'm not going to, compound that and put money behind a guy who can't hold on to the ball, who has a hurt hand on top of that. Next game we're not betting on. And you know what? This is a lie because I actually placed a bet on it before. And I'm going to talk about it right now anyway. Fuck it, right? So I'm throwing this on here as a lean. And it's going to be Green Bay -4. And it is dropped to a point where I just got to say, this is ridiculous, right? Like, if you think of these two, like, if you do the whole proverbial, like, neutral field and home field advantage points, right? This is Green Bay -4 playing Chicago. If these teams were on a neutral field, I think Green Bay wins that game 7 or 8 out of 10 times. Probably 7. Ish. 7 and change, right? And if you do the home field advantage thing, they're only a 1-point favorite if they're winning that many games. I don't think that flies. That doesn't fly by me. When it was 6, I would have stayed away from it. When it was 5, I would have stayed away from it. When it was 4.5, I would have stayed away from it. But I'll take 4. I'll take 4 because give me that push right past the field goal. I'll take that option. 4 is definitely my wheelhouse. So I have lied in my spreadsheet and did not update it before I went to talk to you guys. So I feel like a jerk off, but that's okay. All right, next game that we are not betting on, that's Carolina and Seattle. So once this game topped up to 7, I was like, no, thank you. If I would have got it at like the 4, maybe, but look, Carolina had their fucking sob story game against the Falcons last week, and Seattle's traveling cross country after just getting beat up. Seattle was kind of a little bit fraudulent as it was. I do have a future on them, so I hope that that's not the case, and I hope they beat San Francisco and win their division. But I don't like this. I don't like the line. I don't like this number. I think they win the game, but 7 it might be tough. Like it could be like 11-point difference in the fourth quarter, and they let them get in the fucking end zone just because they're like, fuck it, who cares? So yeah, I worry about the backdoor cover, and 7's a big number on the road for them. New England is going to Cincinnati, where they have freshly recorded the Bengals on their practice field because they're petrified of going 0-3 in 3 games. They're also worried because they got Buffalo. They got Buffalo coming up here soon, and Buffalo, if they went out, they would take the spot. So they got to be a little nervous. Bill's a little nervous. Tom's a little nervous. I think all those guys just a little bit nervous, and I like that. I like that. If I had to bet on this game, I would take Cincinnati and the points 9.5. I think that number's dropping. I think it already went down to 9. And yeah, I don't know. The Patriots are looking tough, and that's a big number when your offense doesn't work. Next game we're not betting on. We got Philly going to Washington. And this one opened up at 6, went down to 4.5. I think I saw some 4s here also because people are liking Washington. They like what old man Adrian Peterson could do running the ball. They take a ton of time off the clock, control the game, and they just grind out yards and then hit some field goals and score a touchdown or 2. And all of a sudden the game got 2 minutes left, and you're like, Jesus, I had the ball like 4 times. What the fuck am I supposed to do with this? So, but I still like Philly in this game. I think they're getting a little bit right, and this is kind of hedging against my desire for them to lose it because I want them to lose the game outright. But yeah, but I'm not betting on it anyway. Cleveland going out to the desert. Arizona seems to be, I don't know, falling off a little bit recently. Not really sure what their trajectory is from here. So I'm just going to stay away from this one. Gun to my head, though, I think Cleveland is still kind of trying. Whenever there's rumblings And there's been a lot of rumblings about Cleveland recently, especially a certain drama queen named Odell. Um, Sometimes that kind of bands people together. So I'm just going to stay away from this one. Two teams going fucking nowhere in the next 3 weeks. Boop, boop, boop. Atlanta is going to San Francisco, where San Francisco is fresh off playing the fucking best game of the season so far. The spread for this one is 11. And I'll tell you what, if I was betting on this one, I would take the Falcons because, it's just you're expecting a little bit of deflation. They broke out every fucking trick play, everything. Emmanuel Sanders was tossing touchdown passes. They did it all, everything in all the appendixes in the playbook, anything. They were drawing shit on the side of the field in game. It was amazing. No, I don't know. I'm just kidding. But they broke it all out. So this might be a little fatigue game. 11 is a lot of points. And Atlanta just beat the shit out of somebody by 20. And so I don't think that's that big of a deal there, right? I'm not too worried about it. So that's a big number. So give me Atlanta, but I am not betting it. Next up, man, is there a team playing more disappointingly than Dallas? Not worse, because they're not, they're putting up points and they're getting yards. They're just not closing it a lot of the time. And man, that is disappointing. I'm not a Dallas fan, so I like seeing the disappointment. But I mean, I'm a Giants fan, so I relish in their disappointment. But I got a future on them. Like, dudes, come on, like pick it up a little bit. So in this one, I would take the Rams if I had to. It's the Rams -1 right now. I think it even went to 1.5. It might even get to 2 because Dallas has just been playing so trash. If this gets to 2, though, I might wind up taking Dallas. Like a little home dog action. They absolutely have the talent. They just got to do it. Just do it. Like, fucking just. It's not like you guys are professionals, right? I don't know. Garrett's just terrible. That's my thoughts. Another game of a member of the greatest game in the season so far, and that's Indy going to New Orleans on Monday night. And that one, I would take New Orleans if I had to, but because it's under 10. But yeah, I'm staying away from it. Again, I could see a little fatigue. I think that 9 might have even dropped to 8.5 in some places. So yeah, I'm just staying away from that one altogether. All right. Let's talk about some bets. Yeah, let's talk about some bets. All right. So, first up, I don't really have a sucker bet this week. I couldn't really think of it. I wanted to say San Fran and New Orleans were co-sucker bets because they both played those giant games and they're due for a little bit of inflation. But I just couldn't bring myself to say that the fucking 1 and 2 seeds in the NFC were sucker bets. So I just don't have one this week. Everything else looks pretty accurate, pretty right on the line. Nothing too crazy is standing out on me right now in terms of bets that they look like they're fucking trying to be a trap. Let's talk about our dog of the week, right? Houston. We talked about it before when we talked about Tennessee a little bit, and that is Houston is going to Tennessee. Tennessee is playing fantastic football right now, but I could see Houston beating them. Houston's absolutely got the talent. They got the air attack to beat the DBs. They're not going to even try and run the ball. They never do. If they do, it's going to be something weird, and that could probably trick a traditionally good run defense. I think that while Tannehill was absolutely a step up, I think they've been riding a huge wave and they're due for a drop-off. And I think Houston was looking ahead to this game last week, which is why they laid such a fucking egg against Denver. But with them looking ahead, that means they were planning for it. So I like them to go in there. Plus 130. Yeah, I'm not taking the 2 points. Just give me the juice. Give me the plus 130. I will take that instead. So Houston is my dog of the week. So let's talk about some leans. We already talked about the Jets. And so next we're going to talk about a game, and I like a total in one of the leans, right? So here we are. Denver is going to Kansas City. Drew Lock has got a fucking cannon. That dude is a gunslinger. I like what I saw last week. Kansas City, they've got good defensive marks, but I still think that they'll be able to pass it on them. I think Philip Lindsay is a good play. And then also Kansas City. They look pretty solid last week. Mahomes' hand is a little bit hurt, which is why I think that this number is low. But I think even if the backup comes in, they still got the weapons, right? And I like over 46. It's under that key number of 47, right under it. So let's get over there. So over 46 is my first lean of the week. And the next leg, oh, we talked about it already because I fucking did it on the fly. And that was Green Bay -4. And so, yeah, those are the three leans. New York Jets and the points got up to 17 tonight. Denver, Kansas City over 46 and Green Bay -4. Now we're going to talk about the locks. And I don't mean Sheik Luch and Jada Kiss and Styles P. I mean the locks, LOCKS. And so what we got this week is the Miami Dolphins. They are coming up to New York. They are playing the Giants. Eli is playing again. And they're getting 3.5 points? Getting 3.5 points? I don't think so. Like, Fitzpatrick's going to come up here and he's going to be like, yo, I scored 7 field goals last week. I want to score 7 touchdowns this week. I got to even that shit out. And he might, because he's been playing phenomenal. Even if Devontae Parker's out, I like the tight end. I like the kid Ford that was playing. And pretty much anybody's going to be able to beat up on the Giants secondary. It's fine. It's going to happen. And I like them plus 3.5. The Giants in no way should be a favorite with a hook at that. Like, if it was 3, I might have stayed away, but I saw 3.5 and I was like, dude, come on. Come on. So give me the Dolphins as a lock. Next up, look, they've been playing bad. I know they've been playing bad. I get it. They just got the shit beat out of them. But this is for nostalgia. This is for everybody who wore fucking shoulder pads with spikes on them and painted their faces silver and black. This is the last game at the Oakland Raiders Stadium, and there's no way that they're going to go out with a loss. There's no way. It's just not going to happen. There's no chance they go out with a loss. 0 chance. And they're playing the Jaguars. The Jaguars, I don't know why my voice is cracking there. The Jaguars, they've been just awful lately. I think they've lost, like, the last 5 weeks, they've lost every game by more than 3 scores. Let's look at this. 45-10, 35 points. 28-11, 17 points. 42-20, 22 points. 33-13, 20 points. 26-3. Ever since that Texans loss, Texans, Colts, Titans, Bucks, Chargers. Not even like a murderer's row right there, right? You got the 2 teams vying for the AFC South in their division. These were all 3 division matchups that they shouldn't have gotten that smoked in. I think the team is just done, and I think the Raiders are going to want this more than them. And when you want it more, you win by more, especially more than a touchdown. So the 2 locks we got this week, we got Miami plus 3.5. We got Oakland minus 6.5. Now we're moving on to the tees. We talked about this game already because I'm leaning on the over. And all I'm doing, I was looking for another leg. I'm just taking KC down. I'm taking KC down to, I think I have 5.5 up here, but I didn't even make this bet yet, and I think it went down already. So let me just look real quick and verify where it's at. But the other 2 legs of the teaser, I'm going to go with the Chargers. The Chargers are playing excellent football right now. They got their defense back. Derwin James is back. I think that the Vikings are going to have a hard time going out to the LA. I almost said San Diego twice. They're going out to LA. Kirk Cousins doesn't like to be out there. He wants to play 1:00 games at home in the Dome. He doesn't want to go to a soccer stadium in LA and play in some high school. But that's what he's got to do this week. And you know what? I think the Chargers are going to win. I think the Chargers could absolutely win outright. But just to make sure, because, Phillip Rivers has been a little lately, he's still been chucking, but I don't know. The offense hasn't looked great, but the defenses look great. Give me the Chargers plus 8.5. So throw them in the tees plus 8.5. Yeah, for some reason I thought the Chiefs line dropped a lot more. So I had 5. It's down to 10 now, so which would make it 4. So I got the Chiefs -4, Chargers +8.5. And then the last leg of the teaser, we're going Sunday night. We're going with Buffalo again. We rode them last week against the Ravens. They helped us out there. And look, this game is going to be way too low scoring. And if you get them up to like +8, you're definitely in the window. This is going to be maybe like 20-16 if somebody gets there, 16-10, 16-13. This is going to be like one of those all-time low games. And so the teaser, that's KC -4, Chargers +8.5, and Buffalo +8. The dog of the week is Houston +130. And then the locks, we got Miami +3.5, Oakland -6.5. We're leaning towards the Jets, which is about to start right now. We'll also lean it towards the Chiefs and the Broncos over, and the Packers. That number just got too low. The -4, fuck you for making it that low. I got to take that. So there we are. That's it. This is week 15. I'm the Sports Dope at that Sports Dope on Instagram and Twitter. And the website is mindsofmike.com/the Sports Dope. And it's all courtesy. All those graphics are courtesy of Andrea Fowler at AndreaFowlerDesign.com, at Andrea Fowler Design on Instagram. All right, that's it. Peace out. Thank you, everybody, for watching, listening, whatever the fuck it is.